Picture your mind as a calm, still lake, perfectly mirroring the universe around it, with no ripples, no distortion. This is a place where the search for truth doesn't come from books or ancient myths, but through direct, lived experience. Welcome to Zen Buddhism, a journey you can't explain in words, only live. Today we're diving into the history, philosophy, and practices of Zen, a tradition that blends depth with simplicity, discipline with spontaneity, so we can understand why this path speaks so clearly to those who seek enlightenment. The story of Zen Buddhism starts in India with the awakening of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha, sometime around the 5th century before Common Era. His teachings spread all across Asia, but it was in China during the 6th century that Zen as we know it really began to take shape. Buddhism moved along the Silk Road and met Taoism in China. That meeting sparked a new form called Chan, known later as Zen in Japan. At the heart of this story is Bodhidharma, the Indian monk who brought a bold new focus, silent meditation, as the core of spiritual life. Though not much is known about him, he's remembered as the 28th patriarch of Indian Buddhism and the founder of Chan in China, the direct predecessor to Zen. Legend says Bodhidharma left India and crossed the Himalayas into China, carrying not only Buddhist teachings but also a groundbreaking idea. Awakening doesn't come from scriptures or rituals. It comes through direct experience and deep meditation. When he arrived in China, Bodhidharma sought refuge at the renowned Shaolin Monastery. There he found monks who were tired and uninspired. To reawaken their spirit, he taught them seated meditation, dhyana, along with physical exercises that would later shape traditional martial arts. Perhaps the most legendary part of his story is his 9 years of meditation facing a wall. This act became a powerful symbol of Zen, complete focus on self-inquiry and inner stillness. Bodhidharma believed that truth wasn't something to teach, it had to be experienced. While Bodhidharma brought Buddhism into China, it was a young monk named Dogen Zenji who firmly established Zen Buddhism in Japan, shaping it into a deep and distinctive tradition. Dogen was born in 1200 to an aristocratic family. He lost both parents as a child, which led him to reflect deeply on life's impermanence. At age 13, he entered monastic life, but soon a question disturbed him. If all beings already have Buddha nature, then why practice? Unfulfilled by the answers he found in Japan, Dogen journeyed to China to seek greater clarity. There he met Master Ru Jing of the Chan school, who utterly changed his understanding. Under Ru Jing's guidance, Dogen awakened, realizing that practice and enlightenment aren't two separate things. This became the foundation of his teaching. Zazen, or seated meditation, is itself an expression of awakening, When he came back to Japan, Dogen founded Eihaiji Monastery, still one of the world's main centers of Zen. Today, that's where he wrote the Shobogenzo, one of the most influential Zen texts, where he shared his insights into reality, time, and spiritual practice. Dogen didn't just bring Zazen to Japan. He taught that every act in life should be done with full awareness. To him, washing a bowl or sweeping the floor were just as much a part of the path. As he wrote, to study the way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. Thanks to Dogen Zenji, Zen Buddhism took root in Japan, staying true to the spirit of simplicity and depth that Gautama Buddha first awakened. The great way of the Buddha is vast and boundless. To walk it is to step into the infinite, where there is no beginning, no end. Letting go of labels and divisions allows us to see things as they truly are. That's how Dogen Zenji puts it, highlighting how true reality goes beyond dualities and points us toward union with our deeper nature. To Dogen, Zen isn't something you grasp with logic. It's something you live in every breath. He said that sitting in Zazen is the full expression of awakening. In that single simple act, the entire universe reveals itself. Here, Zazen, seated meditation, isn't a separate practice, it is the path. In that moment, mind and body come into harmony with our universe. In another one of his writings, Dogen says, time doesn't pass, we pass through time. When we realize this, the present stops being a fleeting instant, it becomes eternity. This is the heart of Zen, to live completely in the now as a doorway to the eternal. Zen Buddhism, above all, is a lived experience. It turns away from linear thinking and rejects the idea that truth can be locked into words or concepts. As D.T. Suzuki once said, Zen is not an explanation, it's an experience. That focus on direct, personal realization is what makes Zen so distinct from other spiritual paths. At its core, Zen teaches that awakening can't be handed down through teachings or ritual. To point directly at the human mind. This is one of Zen's central phrases. It means that each of us must find truth within, without relying on doctrines or go-betweens. Zen's philosophy is fully grounded in the here and now. There's no fixation on the past or future, because the present is the only moment that's real. As Master Thich Nhat Hanh puts it, walk as if you are kissing the earth with your feet. Every act, no matter how ordinary, can be a doorway to awakening when done with full awareness. Another key part of Zen practice is the use of koans, enigmatic riddles or paradoxes meant to break the mind free from logic. One famous koan asks, without moving your lips or tongue, say something about Zen. That puzzle pushes the practitioner to go beyond words and reach an understanding outside of normal reasoning. Simplicity is also a pillar of Zen. As Master Shunryu Suzuki said, posture is awakening. There's no need to make the spiritual path complicated. Just sitting quietly, breathing, and being present is enough. Zen finds the profound in the ordinary. and honors the quiet beauty of daily life. Zen also questions the idea that we have a fixed, separate self. As Dogen said, to study the way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. This teaching leads us beyond the ego, into unity with all things. In the end, Zen is a path of freedom, not something to be figured out in your head, but something to be lived. An old Zen saying puts it like this: before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. Life itself doesn't change, but our way of seeing it does completely. In Japan, Zen had a deep impact on everyday life, turning daily tasks into spiritual acts. Chanoyu, the Japanese tea ceremony, is a perfect example. Every step, from preparation to sipping the tea, is done with mindfulness and care, showing Zen's call to live the present moment in simplicity and harmony. It's more than just drinking tea, it's meditation in motion. Zen also shaped traditional Japanese arts, like calligraphy and garden design. In calligraphy, each stroke must come from total awareness, because there's no going back to fix it. Every brushstroke reflects the artist's inner state in that moment. In Zen gardens, rocks, sand, and plants are arranged in ways that invite quiet reflection and peace. These traditions remind us that Zen flows into all aspects of life, turning even the simplest actions into deep, mindful connections. That's the only difference between an ordinary person and a Buddha serving tea. Time is a continuum, without a beginning, without an end. To walk the way means being fully present in this moment. Right here, right now, this very instant is eternity itself. And when we give ourselves fully to it, there's no boundary between time and our own being. Everything that exists is already here. These are the words of Dogen Zenji in his teachings. In another passage, he reminds us that the here and now isn't something that comes and goes. The present moment is the complete expression of the way. By living fully right now, we embody the whole of time. True practice doesn't happen somewhere else. It happens exactly where we are now. These words reveal that the present isn't just a passing point between past and future. It's the very essence of what is real. In Zen, the here and now isn't just a concept, it's a way of life. Zazen, or seated meditation, offers one of the clearest ways to connect to this presence. In Zazen, the mind doesn't drift toward memories or expectations. Instead, the practitioner stays present with the breath, the body, and simply being. As a Zen proverb says, the moment you sit, the whole world sits with you. This deep mindfulness extends into everyday life. In Zen, even small tasks like washing a bowl or sweeping the floor become moments to live fully in the present. It reflects the teaching that there's no separation between spiritual practice and ordinary life. As Master Thich Nhat Hanh taught, when you wash the dishes, just wash the dishes. What matters isn't the task itself, but the presence we bring to it. This way of being also frees us from suffering, from clinging to the past, or worrying about what lies ahead. Zen encourages us to release those attachments and to find freedom in the fullness of the present moment, because the now is all we ever truly have, Zen masters say. And when we realize this, we discover peace and clarity. The here and now becomes the doorway to enlightenment. There's no need to search far away or wait for some perfect moment. As an old koan says, when you walk, just walk. When you eat, just eat. This simple truth holds the depth of Zen. To live every moment fully is to walk the way itself. Zazen itself is at the very heart of Zen Buddhism, a deep form of meditation meant to bring the practitioner into direct contact with reality beyond thoughts and distractions. The word Zazen comes from Japanese. Za means sitting and Zen means meditation. So it literally means seated meditation. But it's much more than just sitting. It's a state of full awareness, complete presence in the now, where the practitioner lets go of the mental chatter and opens up to a space of simplicity and depth. Zazen isn't just a meditation technique, it's a way of life. It teaches us to go beyond the split between subject and object, dissolving the sense of separation between the meditator and the world. Zazen is a path toward liberation and spiritual awakening. Its goal is to reach Satori, a direct realization of the true nature of mind and reality. As Zen Master Dogen put it, practicing Zazen is practicing Buddhism, and practicing Buddhism is practicing our life. For Dogen, simply sitting, when done with full attention, can awaken us, because real practice isn't about technique. It's about diving deeply into this very moment. Though Zazen is simple in form, it's incredibly profound and often challenging. In the beginning, it's common to struggle to keep the mind still or focused, but the aim of practice isn't to suppress thoughts or control the mind. It's to simply watch those thoughts without chasing them. If you feel anxious, just observe that anxiety. Invite it to sit with you. Choose a quiet, peaceful space, free of distractions. Many people include a small altar with incense or a Buddha image, but that's optional. Silence and stillness are what truly matter. Sit in a position that's comfortable but alert. Traditionally, a round cushion called a zafu is used, but any firm cushion or a meditation bench will do. Your posture should be stable and upright, with the spine straight and your head aligned as if a string is gently pulling you upward from the crown. Main sitting positions: full lotus. Both feet rest on opposite thighs. It's advanced and requires flexibility. Half lotus, one foot on the opposite thigh, the other on the floor. Burmese, legs crossed, both feet on the floor, without overlapping, an easier option for beginners. Hands rest in the lap, palms facing up, thumbs gently touching. To form a circle, this is the cosmic mudra. It helps center your focus. Your gaze should rest softly on a spot in front of you, eyes half closed to reduce distractions. Breathing is a key part of Zazen. Slow, deep breaths help calm the mind and anchor your awareness in the now. Feel the air as it moves in and out of your body. At the heart of Zazen is shikantaza, which means just sitting. There's no goal to reach, no effort to change your mental state. Just be here now, without judgment. Despite the common belief that meditation means guarding the mind against thoughts, Zazen teaches the opposite. There's no mental guard, just the quiet awareness of thoughts as they come and go, like clouds drifting through the sky, without grabbing on. As Zen Master Huangpo said, if you feel yourself chasing a goal, stop, let it go. There's no goal, only this present moment. A session of Zazen can last 20 minutes, an hour, or more. Beginners should start small, maybe add 1 minute a day. Daily practice is key. Meditation isn't meant to be a one-off task. It's a way of being. The goal isn't to log hours, but to live in constant awareness. As Zen teacher Shunryu Suzuki wrote in his famous book, Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, in Zazen just be. Don't cling to the idea of achieving something. That beginner's mind, free of expectations, is the perfect state. For practice, it's where you find freedom in simply sitting. Zen teaches that enlightenment isn't something you go out and find. It's already here, waiting to be recognized through steady practice and full presence. And so we conclude our journey into the heart of Zen Buddhism. The teaching of the here and now isn't just a spiritual idea. It's an invitation to live with presence, fullness, and simplicity. In the moment we realize that everything is held in the present, we discover real freedom. If the words of Dogen Zenji and other Zen masters have resonated with you, remember, the path begins right where you are. There's nowhere else to go, nothing distant to reach for. Enlightenment is in every step, every breath, every act done in mindfulness. If you enjoyed this journey, feel free to comment and share your reflections. May your practice right here and now be a source of endless peace and clarity. Thank you for watching.